The Imagination Gates presents Eclipsed by Fate. Chapter 2. The Price of Love. Celia's heart raced in the silence of the dimly lit room. The weight of Damien's words hung in the air, thick with an invisible tension. She didn't know what to say. Didn't know how to fight the inevitable truth that had just been laid out before her. "I can't let you die," Damien whispered, his voice soft, but heavy with sorrow. She looked up at him, her eyes narrowing with determination. "Then help me. There has to be something we can do. You're not the only one with a choice here." Damien's eyes softened for a brief moment, then hardened. He turned away, his back to her again as he resumed his stance by the fireplace. The flames flickered and crackled, casting eerie shadows against the walls, and yet in that moment, it felt as if the shadows had come alive. "You don't understand, Celia," he muttered. "I'm a vampire. My existence is bound to death, to blood, to destruction. The bond between us, it's not like a human love. It's a curse. And that curse is consuming you as we speak." Celia's heart squeezed painfully in her chest. The way he spoke about their bond. It wasn't just a rejection. It was a confession of a past long buried, a past he could not escape. His dark eyes flickered toward her, haunted by things she couldn't yet understand. "Then let me understand it," she said, rising from the bed, her feet light against the cool stone floor. "I'm not leaving, Damien. Not until I know everything." She crossed the room toward him, her footsteps deliberate. He didn't move, didn't even flinch. But she saw it then, the pain in his eyes, and it made her want to reach out. She wasn't afraid of him, not anymore. His jaw tightened, and he turned to face her. For a long moment, they stood there, the air between them crackling with unspoken words. Then, slowly, he spoke again. "I was born centuries ago, Celia," he began, his voice low and filled with a dark, guttural sadness. "In an age where vampires were cursed to live in the shadows. To hunt, to kill, to feed without remorse. But then, something changed." He paused, as if trying to find the right words. I met someone." The air seemed to grow heavier as he continued, his gaze far away, lost in a time that no longer existed. "I was young, then. Not like I am now." His lips curled into something like a bitter smile. "She was human, beautiful, full of life. I didn't expect it. No one ever does." Celia's chest tightened. She could hear the pain in his voice. And she didn't know why, but the twinge of jealousy was there, fleeting but sharp. She took a step closer to him, searching his face. "What happened?" she asked gently, almost afraid to know the answer. Damien closed his eyes briefly, and when he opened them again, they were filled with sorrow. "I fell in love with her. But she didn't know what I was. She thought I was human. Thought I was just like her. And for a time, I believed I could be." Celia's breath caught in her throat. She felt the weight of his words, the longing in his eyes. But then, Damien's eyes darkened. But then, the bond came. The curse. It kills them, Celia. The fated mates. It takes everything from them. It makes them weak, and it drains their life force until they fade away. She died in my arms. The room fell into a silence that felt like it would suffocate her. Celia could hear her own breath, ragged and shallow, but she couldn't seem to move. "That's why I've been alone all these years," Damien continued, his voice a low rasp. "Because I never wanted to see that again. I never wanted anyone to go through what she did." His eyes flickered to her, but he quickly looked away, unable to bear the pain. "But it's already happening to me." Celia's voice was a whisper. "I don't care about the curse, Damien. I don't care about the consequences. I don't care about the pain. I want you." Damien's eyes flashed, a fierce intensity filling them, but the pain remained. "You don't understand what you're saying. This isn't something that can be fought off. The bond, it doesn't let you choose. It drags you down. And once it has you, it won't stop until you're." "I'll die," she interrupted, her voice steady despite the fear swirling inside her. "If I'm bound to you, I'll die. That's what you're trying to say, isn't it?" Damien nodded slowly, his expression hardening again, as though he were bracing himself for something far worse than any battle. "You don't understand," he repeated, shaking his head. "You can't fight fate. You can't fight what's been set in motion for centuries. If you stay with me, You'll die, Celia. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. Celia felt her heart shatter, but it didn't stop her. But I'm not afraid to die. I'm not afraid to be with you. Damien turned away sharply. That's the problem, Celia. You should be afraid. Afraid of what's coming. Afraid of the cost of loving me. She reached out, placing a hand on his arm, her fingers trembling with the emotion that she could no longer hold back. Damien, I love you. And I won't let you carry this burden alone anymore. There was a long pause. Then, Damien turned back to her, his eyes wild with a mix of desperation and pain. Don't you understand? He said, his voice thick with emotion. The moment we met, the bond between us was already starting to destroy you. And I can't let that happen again. I can't watch someone I love die in my arms, again. His voice cracked on the last word. Celia's heart shattered, her chest tightening painfully as the weight of his fear and guilt washed over her. She hadn't realized how much of Damien's soul had already been broken. Her fingers tightened around his arm, her voice a quiet promise. End of chapter 2. Thanks to listening to Eclipsed by Fate from the Imagination Gates. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, comment and follow for more chapters. Stay tuned for part 4 coming soon.